The Byzantine Empire, once the dominant power in the eastern Mediterranean, had been steadily declining for centuries. By the late 14th century, the empire was a shadow of its former self, struggling to survive amid internal conflict and external threats, particularly from the rising Ottoman Empire. The period from 1373 to 1379, known as the final Byzantine Civil Wars, marked the last internal conflict before the empire's ultimate collapse in 1453. These civil wars were a reflection of the empire's desperate attempts to maintain some semblance of power and territory while contending with the encroaching Ottomans and other regional powers. 1. Background: Decline of the Byzantine Empire. By the 14th century, the Byzantine Empire was reduced to a fragmented state, with its territory confined mostly to the capital, Constantinople, and a few scattered holdings in the Balkans and Asia Minor. The empire had been weakened by a series of wars, including the Fourth Crusade, 1204, which resulted in the sack of Constantinople and the establishment of the Latin Empire. Although the Byzantines regained control of Constantinople in 1261, the empire never fully recovered its former strength. By the 1370s, the Byzantine Empire faced both internal divisions and external pressures, particularly from the rapidly advancing Ottoman Turks. The Ottomans had already seized large portions of Byzantine territory, including most of the Balkans, and were now threatening Constantinople itself. The Byzantine emperors, seeking to secure their survival, turned to internal power struggles and alliances with other European powers, but these efforts would prove ultimately futile. 2. The Civil War begins. John VI Cantacuzene versus John V Palaiologos. The final Byzantine civil wars were sparked by a dispute between two powerful factions within the Byzantine court, John VI Cantacuzene and John V Palaiologos. John VI Cantacuzene, a prominent noble and military leader, had served as regent for the young emperor John V Palaiologos. However, tensions between the two escalated when John VI sought to assume the throne for himself, claiming that he was better suited to rule given the dire state of the empire. In 1341, John VI Cantacuzene seized the throne with the support of a faction of the nobility and military leaders. However, John V Palaiologos, supported by his own faction and the powerful church, resisted this coup, leading to a civil war that would last for nearly a decade. The war was marked by shifting alliances and brutal confrontations between the two factions, with neither side able to decisively defeat the other. 3. The role of external powers. The Byzantine civil wars were not only a struggle for power within the empire, but also a reflection of the broader geopolitical struggles of the time. As the Ottomans continued their expansion, both John VI Cantacuzene and John V Palaiologos sought external support from European powers to aid them in their conflict. John VI Cantacuzene initially sought an alliance with the Ottoman Sultan Orhan, who provided military support to help him secure his position. This move further alienated the Byzantines from their traditional Christian allies and earned Cantacuzene the title of traitor in the eyes of many. On the other hand, John V Palaiologos sought the assistance of the powerful Kingdom of Serbia and Hungary, but these alliances proved to be short-lived and often ineffective. 4. The final stages of the Civil War, 1373 to 1379. By 1373, the war was largely at a standstill, with both factions suffering heavy losses. John VI Cantacuzene, facing increasing opposition from his own supporters and external pressures, was eventually forced to abdicate in 1354, and John V Palaiologos regained the throne. However, the civil war continued as John VI's family members and loyalists continued to resist, further fragmenting the empire. During the final stages of the civil war, the Ottomans, under Sultan Murad I, took advantage of the Byzantine instability, securing key territories in Asia Minor and the Balkans. Despite the occasional support from European powers, the internal conflicts and divisions within the Byzantine Empire proved to be insurmountable obstacles to a unified defense against the Ottomans. 5. The legacy of the civil wars. The Byzantine civil wars of 1373 to 1379 left the empire weakened and divided. Although John V Palaiologos ultimately regained control of the throne, his reign was one of constant struggle for survival. The civil war drained the empire's resources, devastated its military, and alienated potential allies. The internal strife also made it impossible for the Byzantines to mount an effective resistance to the growing Ottoman threat. In the years following the civil wars, the Ottoman Empire would continue its march westward, capturing more Byzantine territories, including the key city of Adrianople, Edirne, in 1361. The Ottomans' victory at the Battle of Maritsa in 1371 further cemented their dominance in the Balkans, and by the early 15th century, the fall of Constantinople seemed inevitable. 6. Conclusion. The final Byzantine civil wars were a tragic and pivotal chapter in the history of the Byzantine Empire. While the wars were fought over control of a crumbling empire, they also highlighted the larger forces shaping the medieval world, including the rise of the Ottoman Empire. Despite their eventual resolution, the civil wars left the Byzantines politically fractured, economically drained, and militarily weak, making the empire an easy target for the expanding Ottoman Turks. The struggles of John VI Kanakazinos and John V Palaiologos are a testament to the internal and external challenges that led to the eventual fall of Constantinople in 1453, marking the end of the Byzantine Empire.